Yo, team playing as Serbia, and I'm trying to unite Yugoslavia without any allies. Specifically, I'm doing it without any sways. So, like, for example, we can't sway Prussia for German leadership against Austria, but what is allowed is requests to support independence, because what this technically does, it just makes them join the play instantaneously. It's not a sway, technically. So, an obvious first move might be to try to get independence, but the problem with that when I try to test that is UK really likes to defend the Ottoman Empire. Usually this wouldn't be a problem if you're playing like Romania because they are in the Danubia strategic region, but as Serbia, UK starts with an interest in our region, and so they like to support the Ottomans. So declaring a day one independence war doesn't really work out too well. I'm going to start improving relations with the UK and Austria, and I'm going to start damaging with Wallachia. Why I'm damaging with Wallachia, I'll be clear in just a second. We're going to be conquering Wallachia. This is, if you didn't know, you can conquer subjects of your overlord, and they have the ability to join against you, but in the case of Wallachia, the Ottoman AI kind of hates Wallachia, I believe. Wait, they're protective? I have no clue why, but the Ottoman AI just will not defend Wallachia. Russia and Austria will if you get a big enough army, but we're just going to wait to have a big enough army till after the war has begun. I'm going to start by researching empiricism into stock exchange, into Atmo engine, and then I guess we'll just build some basic iron mines, not iron, logging camps, and I'm gonna go wait a month and then declare war on Wallachia once we go down below 20 relations and get our interest in Danubia, and then we're gonna conquer the state. It's gonna be a bit tricky because Moldavia usually does run against you, but we can conscript quite a few guys from our state, so we should be able to win. That's a pretty lucky anti-Ottoman lobby. I don't think it really matters, but that is some crazy RNG. I actually got this in one of my test runs. It's crazy that I've had that twice. It doesn't matter at all, but it certainly is some good RNG. Oh yeah, I should put down my decree. Enlistment efforts, greener grass, resource industry, and road maintenance. Most of the decrees aren't going to matter, but once this play hits 80 escalation, the enlistment efforts will be important. As expected, Moldavia has joined the play, and now the Wallachians are confident enough that they don't feel the need to call in Austria or anything. So we can just simply wait till the play hits 80 escalation to ban new people from calling into the play, and now begin conscripting as many line infantry as possible. Of course, we can't do cuirassiers or something because we're on peasant levies. I'm going to set the army to defense and go on to the front. And we should be able to win it pretty easily, I think, given, we got 24 conscripts, which is pretty solid, I think. And you can see this makes Wallachia get their independence, but they're going to beat us in the first battle because their conscripts haven't come up yet. But in the second battle, we should be able to win with our newly added conscripts that are slowly coming up. It's a little bit tricky, but advantage is only like -20 this time, and yeah, we are able to win that defensive battle this time. Looks like our taxes are kind of unnecessarily high, so we'll lower taxes and increase mill wages, I guess, because there's not really a reason not to. And then we're just going to keep conscripting up and slowly have our advantage grow. Oh yeah, I guess I'll start improving relations with the Russians as well, because we want to be able to sway them, or not sway them, we want to be able to get our support independence, or we can just get that now, and that should be good. Hopefully the Wallachians will attack us again, and then we should be able to be strong enough to take over Wallachia. Okay, we get another defensive battle, and that should be good enough. Yeah, now we got a 40-something advantage. This guy's an open terrain commander, so we should be a good attacker, and we should just be able to defeat Wallachia with this 50 advantage or so that we've got here. That should be big enough. Yep, we win this battle easily. We'll occupy Wallachia, and then enforce the war. I was confused by when the battle just disappeared. It's because Moldavia just left the war. Okay, and with that, Wallachia is now occupied and is now one of our states. I'm going to definitely start incorporating this. Wallachia is an amazing state. It's got iron, coal. I think it has the river bonus. Yep, 5% Mappy River. So this is an amazing state, and probably you're going to want to build mostly in this state if possible. Even though it's like not a fully accepted culture, it's just such an amazing state that we're probably going to end up building a lot there anyway. Now the plan is just to sort of wait for our relations with the UK to get high enough that I'm feeling confident that they won't join the play against us. Also, taxes and stuff need to get fixed now because our budget isn't looking so good. Oh, we need to delete these construction sectors. There's no way we can afford these. Our budget's a little bit more reasonable. Maybe we could afford a one iron frame construction sector, but I'd prefer to not have to deal with the private queue for now. I'm gonna start trying to pass cultural exclusion, because if I can successfully pass this, I guess we try to get the intelligentsian government. That's kind of illegitimate, but we'll do it anyway. If we can get cultural exclusion through, that will let us get a market liberal agitator, which would be nice, because right now grain prices are too low, but if we can get cultural exclusion, we can just grab a market liberal from a different country, like this one. If we get an orthodox market liberal to come from someone, then we could use that, but we haven't gotten any of those to get exiled quite yet, unfortunately. I assume there's probably no orthodox countries that even have plus 25% grain prices, because they're all either in the Ottoman market or Montenegro, I think, or Russia, I guess, but Russia always has grain prices super low as well. I guess I should probably build a construction sector. I guess I'll do it in Wallachia because we do have our resources of iron and stuff in that state. I forgot to put social mobility decrees on. That's a big mistake. Social mobility decree is like the most important one. Oops. It doesn't really matter that much. It's only like 4 years of literacy drop we lost, or literacy gain we lost. Well, we're about to hit 50 relations with the British in the next day, so I think now is going to be a good time to try to declare independence. So I'm going to request support regime, request market control, and now I've got 90 liberty desire. And quickly, before I declare independence, I will support Moldavia, because we want to be able to conquer them at some point if we desire the two. And so giving them independence will make that a little bit easier, although maybe they will get defended by the Russians. I don't know. We will see. Looks like we can call two Sicilies to our side if we want, and looks like having future relations with the Russian, or actually it looks like a big part of this is actually that the British have big ideological differences with the Ottomans right now, but also, of course, us having good relations and stuff is going to make them less likely to support the Ottomans. The British are minus 90, there's no way they support. Also, having Moldavia in the war is nice, because this is one continuous front line. Anyway, I'm going to go for return southern Serbia, conquer Bosnia, conquer Montenegro, and then, um, we really don't want them to back down if possible. Um, primary southern Serbia and Montenegro. It's a lot of infamy, but I think this is like the only way to be confident they won't back down. And even if they back down, it really isn't that bad, because they'll just be keeping this isolated state of Bosnia, which won't be too bad. This opportunity would be amazing if we weren't doing a no allies run, but we are doing a no allies run, so might as well say this is not in our interest because we can't do anything with it. Well, they didn't back down or anything, so we're gonna be able to get our 3 war goals over here, which is gonna be nice, and we'll get our independences, of course. Maybe I didn't need a primary 2 because we already had the 2 primary independences. I didn't think about that. Maybe we only needed to primary one of those. Yeah, probably could have gotten away with just return Southern Serbia being primary. Well, obviously, with the support of Russia in this first independence war, this is going to be a very easy war, and we're going to be forced very soon. This is where things are going to get really tricky, because unless we can find a way to like become an Austrian subject or anything like that, or well, I mean, actually, I didn't consider about sways the other way. Are we allowed to reverse sway? Probably we are, but I don't know. If we can try to become an Austrian subject, that would be one way to try to sway Russia in again. Or we are just going to need to find a way to win a war against the Ottomans over and over again, and then get stronger to defeat Austria, which I think is what we're going to try to do. But that is going to be pretty tough, because, I mean, we have this one good state, I guess, with cultural exclusion. Maybe we can get enough migrants into Wallachia and stuff that we can actually be victorious, but it is going to be tricky. Maybe I shouldn't have sent peace. Maybe we should have tried to get as much devastation on Ottomans as possible, but it probably doesn't matter too much. Looks like they lost the war against Egypt, which is good. No, they white pieced it? Okay, interesting. Well, this seems fine for us at least. I think we get Southern Serbia instant incorporated, right? Yep. And then we got to start incorporating the other states, which is going to put us at a little bit of a bureaucracy deficit. I will start building up some government administrations in Wallachia, because that is our only state with taxation capacity problems. Wow, there's a lot of pops in Wallachia. 2.2 million. It's like half our pops. Russia wants us in their bloc. I don't know if I can do that. I might be trying to unify the Balkans this game, and there is some Balkan territory that Russia controls, and well, we don't want to be friends with, or we don't want to ally Russia anyway. Oh, and this would stop us from attacking Moldavia as well. So yeah, I'm going to decline joining the Russian bloc. We might get a war declared on us to force us into the bloc. If that happens, we'll probably just accept the war. We'll see. Yeah, Russia allied Moldavia, so that's going to be a little bit annoying. That means we won't be able to expand that way, but we still have the Ottomans to expand into and stuff. We also have Montenegro, I guess. We'll probably start damaging relations with them so that we can attack them. They are going to be a fairly easy target. That'll bring us up to 4 out of 8 states. Then we'll just need 4 more states from Austria, which, in fact, if you didn't know, we actually have 1 claim on Austria. I'm not sure why this is the only state that's claimed, but it is the only state that you start out with a claim on. So that will be, well, it's not the only state. You also start with southern Serbia, but it's the only one against Austria that you start on a claim with. I'm not really sure why that one specifically, but you do get a claim on it. Magna Mancunian Radical Revolt and Bonapartist Revolt happening at the same time is crazy. Oh yeah, now that we're independence, we can try to go for corn laws, I guess. We can produce 100 less grain like that. I don't think that's enough. Yeah, that's not enough for corn laws, actually. Let's go to maintain single crop and start exporting grain, and then we can probably do corn laws by swapping between them or whatever, because we didn't have quite everything on that one. Oh, we have so bad legitimacy right now. 22, but we're still able to pass this because movement support? Okay. Okay, I think I can trigger corn laws now. Yep, that's plus 35% grain. Yep, we get corn laws. It's going to be good. We can go back down to maintain single crop now. And we'll hope for our market liberal. I'll exile this guy so we have an agitator slot. I'm pretty sure you don't need an agitator slot, but just in case or whatever, we'll keep an agitator slot open. The Serb supremacist movement is getting a little strong, but I actually think fighting it isn't a bad idea. I mean, actually, I think we want the Civil War. Yeah, we'll have the Civil War happen, and we should be able to easily defeat it. Because the Civil War will just kind of be a free reduction in radicals and also helping us pass the law, right? So I kind of think there's no reason not to fight the Civil War. Except Egypt being kind of close to joining the rebellion, but luckily they are not going to join the rebellion seemingly, so we should be fine. Apparently we have 2 little lancers and stuff here. we have too many lancers and stuff and too few line infantry. Luckily with conscripts that can get fixed. I get our modern conservative, which is super nice. I'll start. Oh, we don't have authority. I will remove road maintenance from here and replace that with bolstering the liberal movement. Hopefully this guy's popular. Oh, negative 15 popularity is not what you want to see, but hopefully 13% support should be enough, I think. Okay, I defeated Serbia, or what? A Bulgarian uprising with why does Two Sicilies hate the Ottomans so much? But that's actually, like, amazing for us. We can get a Diplo pact from the Ottomans of trade agreement or guarantee independence. I don't think we want to do that, but that's kind of interesting. If Austria would have supported that, we would have been so happy, but unfortunately it's just Two Sicilies and Bulgaria, which I don't know if that's enough to defeat the Ottomans. Oh, 900 power rejection, 300, and 900. Actually, maybe they stand a chance. This would be the most incredible RNG carried moment of all time. Connor gets RNG carried the run. They're actually managing to push into Constantinople, but they're losing on this front. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Northern Thrace is getting occupied, but Constantinople is also getting occupied, so we'll see how this war goes. Okay, looks like the Ottomans are going to defeat the Bulgarian uprising, and we're not just going to get the freest game of all time. But it is crazy that it got kind of close. Okay, landowners did get pressured by the liberal movement, so I'm going to grant leadership to this market liberal, and once we get cultural exclusion through, I'm going to start trying to pass a economic law other than traditionalism, because that's not ideal. At least we don't start with slavery, unlike Wallachia and Moldavia, which do start out with slavery. If we look at Moldavia, we should be able to see, yeah, they have legacy slavery. Okay, cultural exclusion passed. Oh yeah, we have to do this first. I guess I'll go homesteading. Either of tenant farmers or homesteading are decent, but I think homesteading is a little bit better. It's kind of close, but I prefer the extra SOL of homesteading usually. Oh, I think we should go back to maintain single crop. Or wait. No, we're running a fruit shortage. This is a little bit weird. Okay. Well, I guess we'll try to import more fruit to try to fix our problems there. Although we do get bureaucracy problems from that, actually. We're paying so much in bureaucracy. Oh, I should not be exporting grain. That is a foolish mistake. I forgot to do that after you stop needing to trigger corn laws. Oops. I think this is one of the earliest times I've ever seen where every single non-marginalized interest group is happy. Usually this happens in like the late game when you have infinite loyalists, but for this early to have every single interest group be at least happy or loyal, it's pretty rare. Okay, I passed homesteading. Next I'm gonna go for Yeah, I guess I'll go interventionism. You could do laissez-faire if you wanted, but interventionism is usually better. Except if you like think that most of your buildings will stay nationally owned even on laissez-faire, which I mean is like possible, but I don't think it's too likely in the situation. It's like if you max build these buildings, it's one example of a situation where the buildings just will never privatize, I'm pretty sure. Um, well, we have soil enriching farming already. We got that tech. Well, I'm gonna swap it to ammo engine. That should be pretty profitable. Apparently, it's not profitable, but it will be profitable for the price of our construction goods at least. Go one more construction sector. Looks like we need more coal. Okay, I'll try to put a coal mine before the construction sector actually. Looks like the main cause is actually just that the coal mines aren't very employed up, but we'll keep the coal mine in the queue anyway. Well, I'm gonna try to give fighting the Ottomans a go. Of course, we can't do that immediately. Oh, wait, no, my plan is foiled by the Russians defending Montenegro. Okay. Well, I need to find a war that I can declare that people aren't too likely to intervene in. Maybe like Congo or something is going to be kind of unlikely for people to intervene in. I don't really want to conquer anything overseas that badly, but I just want a war that we can raise our conscripts up in, and then once we run out of infamy again, declare on the Ottomans, and hopefully it'll win. They have like 1600 power projection, which is quite a lot, but with like 100 conscripts, we might be able to have enough to win a victory anyway. Only 16% pass chance on interventionism. Oh wow, the Lanner's clout got destroyed by passing homesteading. That is the big downside. Makes it way harder to get your other laws you want. Okay, I'm gonna go for, I guess, a treaty port on Congo. That'll be... They might accept. Okay, I'll let them accept if they want. Okay, they don't want to accept. Maybe they'll back down. I'd be kind of fine with that, to be honest. I'll raise conscripts. Now, I'm gonna take off the road maintenance here, and we need like a little bit more authority. Maybe we can go high gov wages for this. Yeah, get enlistment efforts on southern Serbia as well, and then put down as many line infantry conscripts as I can, and that should be good. Unfortunately, we can only get 25 per state because of peasant levies. I wonder if pro army would barely reduce our max battalions mobilized because this would increase the conscription limit to 50. But of course, it lowers conscription rate. So in Bosnia and the Serbias, it would decrease it, but it would massively increase it in Wallachia, which has 2 million people, which is like triple the other states. So far, we've conscripted up to like 600 power protection. If we can just keep this going so that it's like 2,500 or whatever, then we might stand a chance. The big problem is that the Ottomans also have conscripts. What I'm really hoping for is that they declare on Egypt again. They don't have a truce, so it's possible, I think. They still have their claims, right? So I don't know why they wouldn't declare. I think they should be declaring. We shall see, though. Yes, Egypt declares independence. This is exactly what I needed to happen. Okay. Just in time, we were about to hit, like, or we're not about to, but we're kind of close hitting zero infamy. Taxes are really not going to be able to get us out of this. Oh no, our budget situation is really bad. We need to defeat the Ottomans, like, stat. Okay, well, since we got that Egypt war going, or since the Egypt war started, I'm gonna declare for liberate Bulgaria, and then I will conquer Albania, take war operations, conquer, Salonik maybe? Wait, why is Salonik like so much cheaper? Oh wow, there's so many more people in Thessalia. Maybe just go for Thessalia? I don't know. Looks like no one's too likely to decide against us, so it doesn't matter too much what we put in as war goals. We could ban slavery if we want to, I guess. I could actually like transfer Tripolitania or something, but that's actually a tiny subject. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for conquer Thessalia, I guess, and then primary the Ottoman war reps. And I think that we have a decent chance just because the Ottomans are gonna be somewhat busy with this war against Egypt at the same time. Our budget situation is definitely not ideal, but as long as this war only takes a couple of years, we should be fine. I'm gonna hire 4 generals so that we can push as fast as possible. And we're probably going to need to delete some trade routes to keep the bureaucracy situation kind of fine. We can maybe get away with just one paper route. Oh, a bunch of these routes are with the Ottomans. We can delete all those routes because they're going to get invalid in a second anyway. With the war started, we have a 90 advantage on our front because for some reason the Ottomans are massively focusing on the Egyptian front. So that's very lucky for us, and we're going to get a pretty easy war here, I guess. And then from there, we're just going to need to get out of this terrible debt situation, which is pretty bad. And then we should be able to eat the southern Balkans pretty easily, and we're just gonna have to start thinking about how are we gonna defeat Austria next. Well, I'm scared the Ottomans might accept peace with the Egyptians soon, but I guess they're like minus 60 away, so it's kind of far, but we just need them, we just need to take Body Turkey, and that'll be it, and we can be enforcing on the Ottomans. It's kind of close, but we should be able to occupy just in time before the Egyptians can peace out. Probably can't enforce before the Egyptians, but as long as we have the war goal, we should be fine because we've got a full line infantry army and our power projection is relatively close to the Ottomans. Oh, they only have 1,000. We have 1,300. We actually would have the upper hand, but not by much. Okay, we actually can enforce now. Can we get all of our war goals? Not quite, but we're doing pretty good. Okay, I can now make peace with the Ottomans, and I'm now going to demobilize the army in order to avoid bankruptcy. And I think we're actually looking like in a pretty good situation, other than interventionism not passing too well. Everything else is going pretty well so far, I'd say. Oh, we completed the ammo engine journal entry, and we can either get 2.5k on railways or 3.5k on water tube. I guess since we're only 2.5k away from railways, we'll go for the water tube boiler stuff. I should really kick the intelligentsia out of government. That's why I was passing so slowly. Oops. Bit of a mistake. If we get one more legitimacy, then I could go minimum taxes, and we could have righteous government for minus 25% enactment time. I guess I could promote some landowner generals, so we've gotten our military. How did that not cost us bureaucracy? I don't know. But, I'm cool with it. I'll go down to minimum taxes now, and hopefully we can pass interventionism. Turns out going minimum taxes seems to reduce these guys' clout, because I guess they don't pay much in land taxes or income taxes, so it's just kind of like hurts their clout to lower taxes as it turns out, so I guess I'll stop hurting their clout like that, and hopefully we can get interventions since this pass has not been going well. Oh, I should white peace these guys. They're going to accept now, yeah. Oh, I just finally passed interventions. It took a while, but we finally got that through, which is pretty nice. That should mean our, yeah, reinvestment is now plus 25k, so we can afford quite a bit more construction probably. Next, might want to go per capita taxation if possible, or maybe healthcare, but it looks like we're a little bit far away from here to pass healthcare. We could maybe try to go off of state religion. No, we'll just stay on state religion. I think it'll be fine. I guess I'll go free trade next. That'll let us get our Corn Laws loyalists going, which will remove like half of our radicals probably, or not really. It'll give us a bunch of loyalists instead, but it'll be kind of close. Anyway, we'll get the injustice in government as well, so we can pass this easier. Just realized I'm running a huge government administration deficit, so I should probably build a bunch of those to get out of this bureaucracy problem. I guess select generic iron as a company. That will be a decent company to have. Or actually maybe that was not a good idea because it's just gonna lower reinvestment, but it's fine. It's a pretty good company, you know, it'll give us some more throughput on these buildings and stuff. So far, our economy is around a fourth of the size of Austria. We definitely need to get closer than that before we can consider building up a big enough army to defeat them. Maybe around half the size will stand a chance. I don't know how big we need to be to beat them. It might also get significantly easier if, for example, Russia declares a German leadership war. Oh, also it depends on Russia's or Austria's alliances. Looks like they don't have a defensive pact with Russia, which is pretty good RNG for us. Oh, we got free trade passed. That's nice. 10% loyalists. You just send in like 1,000,000 radicals. A little bit less terrible. Now, I guess I'll do religious schools next, and then after this we'll go per capita. I'm gonna conquer Bulgaria from Bulgaria. A truce just ran out. It says Egypt is kind of lucky to join. We got an anti-Austrian lobby forming off that, which is not ideal, but fine, I guess. I'm gonna go full defense. Egypt might join, which would be unfortunate. Russia actually also might join. That would be very unfortunate if Russia were to join. We can hit minus 19 during this play. That might give more no strong preference to make them less likely to join the play. Please? Yes? Okay. They're a bit less likely now. We just need to hope that they don't join. Oh yeah, we're not allowed to sway anyone in. Egypt is in the play, but if they don't bring anything up, it's not a big deal that they're in the play. We should just be fine. Hopefully we're fine and we don't get... Yeah, it looks like Russia or anything aren't going to join the play. I assume that's because, yeah, Bulgaria isn't that scared or anything, so they probably aren't willing to give up that much if we would have joined them. I don't know. We're just going to stay full defense, and The power of conscripts, you can probably win this war, or eventually Egypt will just surrender. I did actually kind of mean to conquer more than Bulgaria, but it's fine. It'll. Who said I needed more than one state for this war anyway, right? It'll be fine. Looks like the Egyptians are going back. Oh yeah, there's a war the Ottomans have declared to try to regain the Syrian stuff, so now we can push into Bulgaria pretty easily. I'm getting very lucky with war decks by third parties this game, saving us a little bit. We just became a major power, which is kind of nice, although it does mean we'll get more infamy costs now. Okay, can now conquer Bulgaria. Very nice. Would have liked to conquer more than just that one state, but I forgot to add the war goal, and yeah, it's fine. Okay, actually passed per capita, which is nice. You're gonna go up to high taxes. I think we can afford it. We don't got that many radicals right now. So I'll do that. Do you want to do any more consumption taxes? Not yet, I think. And really, our laws are looking kind of decent right now. We have pharmaceuticals unlocked, so I should go for healthcare, I guess. That would be a pretty good law to go for. Oh yeah, we're Orthodox, so we can get the good old be fruitful and more multiply. I forget that Orthodox people have that. I just know it's the Catholic thing or the Russian thing, but I guess it's Russian because it's Orthodox. I got a lobby opportunity for a trade agreement with the USA. Okay, nice, I guess. Fun fact, religious schools gives far more devout political strength than it claims to of only plus 10%, because if we look at a devout supporter pop here, and look at their reasons for supporting the Orthodox Church, you can see that they also get a plus attraction bonus from religious schools, and this is, I think, x 1.2 times the amount of levels you have in the institution, so up to double the attraction to the church if you have at level 5, so it is not just a 50% increase to their strength. Health taxes, it's only 2,800, and only during the enactment of the law, so that should be pretty free for getting health care, really. The Russian bloc is getting market unification, so I kind of want to join it. So I'm going to host a power block embassy and a trade agreement and stuff, because market unification is, going to be real nice for getting our GDP growth up a little bit. The Russians have lots of pops you can try to sell to. I guess I might as well ask for military assistance as well. Okay, they declined that. We could grant investment rights or something. Don't really want to, but we're not quite at enough leverage yet. Getting max from lobby, it looks like. So we're doing real good in terms of leverage here, but just not quite enough. I guess since we aren't laissez-faire, so our buildings aren't getting forced privatized, we might as well just grant them investment rights to get the leverage, because I would really like to be in the Russian bloc. It will also mean we can attack Montenegro. Also, we're at 0 infamy. I guess we could declare on something. Tuscany would be likely to support the Ottoman Empire. I don't know. I guess we might as well just take Selanik, a new state. Don't want to sit at 0 infamy. That would be lame. Defensive cooperation is always kind of annoying, but I think that we might just take over the Russian bloc, because they only have like 500 prestige. I think we might be able to outscale that fairly easily, and we can just take over the block, remove the principal or whatever, and be fine. And that principal will also, help us out with taking out Montenegro, because they just won't be allowed to side against us. USA offers military assistance. Okay. We're not doing that well against the Ottomans, as we'd hope, but we should be able to win at some point. It's just gonna be a little bit tough. Yeah, they're already in like almost 2.5 million debt, so they're probably gonna bankrupt off this war, I think. We'll see. They're already in 2.51. We're getting plenty of money. We could build a bigger military. Probably what we should do. Yeah, I'll start trying to build up a bit more military so we can win the war. Oh, I became a major power, and now I can't get leveraged on as much. I don't want to get a defensive pack because that's kind of cheating, I think. How do we get more leverage? This is tricky. Get more leverage. We need to like drop back down out of major, which means we need to like win the war. I should probably just build a navy. That would be a good way to win the war, having any navy at all, so we could do some naval invasion stuff. Kinda don't want to abuse it too much, but it's like, it's too easy to naval invade the Ottomans. The game is basically asking me to do it. I'm gonna go naval invade cars to distract the Ottomans. If they move their fleet, then we'll go for naval invasion on Selanik, of course. Oh, Russia offers to provide military assistance. Okay, that's just what we needed. I don't know if that'll be enough for 200 leverage. Actually, yeah, it's not quite enough, but once we become a minor power. Oh, they move their navy. That's so kind of you, Russia. Not Russia, Ottomans. That's so kind of you. I've nicked the Visuals bug out and show it going to Wallachia when it actually goes into Selanik. Oh, okay. We only got 50% landing progress before they should go back and forth between cars and Selanik and the Ottomans. You know, they're the easiest country to naval invade ever in the history of countries, and so it should just be pretty free. This guy's open terrain commander and offensive planner, so we should just be able to get into Selanik and then win the war. Leverage advantage is getting so close. We just need to like get a bit less leverage from like the USA or something. They're guaranteeing our independence. That's a bit annoying. UK is adjacent to us via... What is UK adjacent to us by? What? I'm confused how they're getting that 150. I'm so confused. They don't have Ionian Islands or anything. What? Okay, I'm enforcing on the Ottomans now. Peace acquired. Selanik is now a state, and our prestige is low enough that we'll drop back down to minor power. I would like to... In the block... Oh, wait, we can get into the block now. Okay, I don't know what changed about our leverage, but... Okay, we're in the block now. That's nice. The Russians don't quite have market unification yet, but they should soon. Well, I'm going to start damaging relations with Montenegro now, and once we get them below 20, I will conquer them. Kind of weird that Hejaz owns Tripoli. I think that what happens here is the Egyptian AI has a state that it doesn't border with an incorporated state, and it has the homeland of one of its subjects' cultures, and then it grants it away. I forget how this works. I remember some data time-lapses video explaining how this works, and I remember testing it like earlier today, where Spain almost always gives Puerto Rico to Cuba for some reason, and it's like because they share a culture, a homeland with the primary culture of the country. It's really weird. I'm gonna go destroy the Bulgarians. I'm gonna go conquer northern Thrace, conquer Skopje, I'm kind of lucky to back down to this play. Surely it'll be fine. Why would they ever back down to this play? Right. They would never back down to this play. So all will be fine. Worst case scenario, we just get Northern Thrace and war reps. It'll be fine. Yeah, mobilize, and we should be able to win this war pretty well. Two Sicily supports them, which might make them go out of being minus 75, which would be nice. Yeah, Two Sicily's army is actually pretty weak, so it might not actually. So, for some reason, in a war to try to fight Montenegro, Russia is allowed to join. I have no clue why, but they just are allowed to join. And this doesn't make any sense to me, but it's just the facts, so we gotta roll with it, I guess. Okay, proposed peace deal, and get some nice borders over here in the Balkans. It'd be nicer if we had Bati Turkiya or whatever this is called, Western Thrace. That's what it's called when the Ottomans own it. But we can't have that right now. So it's fine. We get this event, but yeah, our borders look much better than before we fought Bulgaria, or we have a real name tag placement. Our GDP is getting close to being half of the Austrians now, which is solid. Quite a bit of that is in Wallachia. Wallachia is by far our best state, although it's actually not our best GDP per capita state. We've got better GDP per capita in some of these other states. I'm gonna start leveling up healthcare as well. We do need to do that, I guess. Okay, we're now in the Russian market. I think that probably helped out our GDP a little bit, and it should help our growth out quite a bit because we've now got a bigger market, which does still have some shortages and stuff. But for example, coal looks like a very productive thing we can try to build. So I guess I'll try to build some coal. Oh, also we have the ability to get Russian migrants actually is going to be a big part of this. I should probably start using some greener grass decrees in Wallachia, southern Serbia, and I don't know what other states are really too good. I think none of these states are really amazing. Bosnia is kind of decent. It's got a lot of iron. It doesn't really have coal, but it'll be fine. And hopefully we can attract a Russian cultural community to at least one of these states, and then from there, try to get some good migration into our country. Of course, we don't have any yet, but it should just be a matter of time. I think my GDP growth this round has been really solid. We're all the way up to like 21 million GDP relative to our start. I think this is really good for Serbia. I mean, like, I haven't played Serbia before, but my Montenegro run was doing way worse at this point, which is actually pretty surprising how much way worse it was doing. It had like 6 million GDP, I think, which is not even comparable, even though it had like similar states, I think. It didn't have as much in the south, but it had like some stuff from Austria, because of course, if you have a Russian ally, you can actually beat Austria. Well, I'm gonna go for a protectorate on the Ottoman Empire. I think this very well might be our last war before the Austria War. Maybe we'll conquer the remnants of Bulgaria, but I think we're getting close to the strength where I'm ready to challenge Austria for formation of Yugoslavia. Probably in the first war, we'll go for something like liberate Hungary and then conquer the states that weren't Hungarian, which I think is like these four, which it won't be quite enough actually to form Yugoslavia, because we'll need the Montenegro peace in order to do that, unfortunately. I was rushing steel frame, but I think probably the rush for breech loading artillery is probably going to be more important. Maybe we'll probably actually want to do an army of like line infantry with shrapnel artillery, which, normally you'd go like skirmish, but I think we might just do that and go for like a hyper offensive army. I think that's going to probably be a pretty solid plan. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but I think that might work out well. Well, this war against the Ottomans was pretty easy. I have no clue why Tuscany is in the war, but it doesn't matter. Ottomans are now our protectorate. I'm gonna try to go for a professional army, because we're gonna need to better build more barracks, I think. And, of course, Pro Army has some other bonuses. Oh, I really should have had an interest in South Germany so that I could join that civil war. That would have been nice. But, yeah, that's actually gonna be really convenient. That's gonna weaken the Austrians. Actually, I could just go in right now. Oh, this is so convenient, but how strong is this revolt actually? Oh, it's almost as strong as Austria. Well, apparently, even though I'm in the block of the Russians and stuff, they would side against me if I were to invade Austria, which is not ideal at all. So, yeah, I've got no idea what we're gonna do. Also, apparently, Russia's in this war against the radical revolt. If Russia's just gonna side against us, then that's gonna make things significantly more complicated. Though Austria is bankrolling Russia, so that will give them some monetary concerns. Looks like they're losing like 200k a week, which is not exactly what you want to be losing. The reason they're losing so much is because they probably are running a huge bureaucracy deficit due to not controlling Austria, which has a ton of their bureaucracy. Also, like a half, no, all of their country except for Bohemia has the market isolated right now. That is not exactly ideal. If the radical revolt actually wins, that would be amazing for us, I guess. So we're just gonna hope that that will happen. Our budget isn't great, actually. Our investment is actually negative, or like total IP change plus government income is negative, which is not ideal, but our GDP growth is pretty solid, and it should put a wrench in the Austrian GDP growth. Even if they manage to win this, their debt should be like at least 10 million. Oh, Germany's taking advantage of the situation to go for German leadership, which is pretty nice, I guess. Definitely, I guess this is good. Yeah, it'll distract some Austrian troops, which might make the revolt more likely to win, which I would definitely like to have happen. Well, it looks like Austria's going to win, but they are at least going to be in like 10 million debt, and I assume like a bunch of their industries are probably running temporary shortages, which is kind of nice for us. But they're about to win the civil war because yeah, their capital is occupied by Prussia, so they actually just can't get occupied anymore. Now, the one thing I'm wondering is, does this guy's debt get re-added to Austria after they capitulate? I think it does, but I'm not actually sure. So they were at 11 million debt. Yes, they're at 17 million now. So the revolt's debt did get added on, seemingly. That's great. And they're still at war with Prussia, so that's going to be even more debt. Russia now views Austria as a potential threat, so they probably aren't going to be lucky to get... Oh, they still want to support Austria anyway, just because they're super sympathy. What if we were to declare for, like, a liberate? Yeah, then they would be kind of unlikely to side with us, so that's good to see. In case you're wondering why I'm not invading Austria, they apparently are already back at, like, 6,000 power projection, so now would not be an ideal time to invade them. Austria is actually getting really close to bankruptcy. I'm pretty sure 25 is the maximum capitulation desire you can get from loans, and they're at 24, but now the war has ended, they should be able to get out of their debt, unfortunately. Wait, they're only at 3,000 power projection now that their conscripts are deleted. I mean, maybe... No, we don't even have general staff. There's no way we win the war, right? I don't think there's a way. I feel like I've been passing pro-army for so long, but apparently it gets, I guess, unacceptable government just means taking forever to get anywhere, which is unfortunate, but I should probably start building some more units for the army, specifically more mobile artillery, because we're going to be upgrading that into, what's it called? Upgrading that into good old shrapnel artillery, which is going to be super nice. Oh, Russia got foreign investment 3. Also, I should have canceled this foreign investment agreement like forever ago, but it doesn't matter because I probably didn't build like anything in me. But they have foreign investment 3, so they actually have investments in this anyway. Until they become a great power, that is. I wonder how much. Yeah, they basically own none. Yeah, it looks like most of this GDP ownership is the Ottomans. They own like one building in us. Apparently, we own some stuff in Moldavia. Hmm. No, the Russians and Austrians are such good friends, and they want to support each other. No, this is not what you want to see. But we can attack someone the Austrians have a defensive pact or something with. Maybe. Like a Württemberg maybe might be an option. Something like declare on Württemberg for investment rights. No, Austria doesn't actually want to support them. Oh yeah, they have such big loans that they just don't want to support most people. They're guaranteeing probably. What about Bavaria? They actually are like they support these guys. That might be something that would work. But also they might just back down. But probably not with Austria's support. I mean, they only got 6,000 power projection. We've got 2.5k. Once we get breach loading artillery, we'll figure out what we want to do. Armed Forces guy's a Democrat? How dare they be a Democrat? It's trying to make them illegitimate. It's unacceptable. I'm going to invade Mascara for banned slavery, and I'm going to hope that the Austrians will turn against me here. And assuming they do, which I think they should, because they're minus 24, and I'm pretty sure guarantee independence sway should give 25 acceptance. So they should side in. Yep, they do. I'm going to be going for, or not return Devil Deck, because we want to liberate Hungary. That should be a big cripple to the Austrians. And then we also want to go for conquer Slavian, conquer Croatian, and Dalmatian. Someone said these aren't how you pronounce these, but you know, who cares about facts and stuff? Kustanland, and then I guess we just have like one more. We can take Croatian, and that's gonna put us at a pretty high infamy. Oh no, Spain might be likely to join this play. Well, it will be fine. It will be fine. Nothing ever happens. Front isn't exactly in our, or it is in our favor right now, but if the Austrians mobilize, it's not going to be in our favor, but it will be fine. We're taking a lot of war goals in this war. It's not quite everything. We will be missing Crane out of the full Yugoslavia formation, but there should be enough to form Yugoslavia, I think, or also the Hungarian stuff, of course, but should get 1, 2, 3, oh, we're only getting 4, right? And then not quite enough. Yeah, we're only getting 4, so it's going to be left on 7 states. And then after we can live, after the truce with Hungary or whatever runs out, we can get the remaining states to have enough states to form Yugoslavia. Some would say you should turn on general training if you want to win a war. And they'd be very right. General training is very important to winning this war. Wait, do I have troops on attack? Okay, I don't. I think I had them on before, but I swapped them off. I'm also going to get 4 generals, so we actually have enough to defend all the battles. And we should be good, except we're losing battles. Okay, I'm just going to go to skirmish so that we don't lose battles. It's unfortunate. It's going to cost us more money and stuff, but it'll be fine. Just a bit more money. In 13 months, we can get shrapnel and then win the war. I'll go use this 1 stack to naval invade the capital of Egypt, I guess. That'll be a nice little distraction and give them some nice capitulation progress, because they've got nothing guarded their country right now except for this stuff in the Arabia HQ. Okay, the like Austrian fleet came to their defense, I guess. Unfortunate, except it's left. No, it hasn't. That's a lie. No, it has now. Okay. It's a little bit confusing, but we'll just go for the landing on Lower Egypt again, I guess. And maybe this time we'll get in. I love these pop-ups on my screen, stopping me from seeing what's going on. That's great. But yeah, okay, we just don't get into Egypt, I guess. Whatever. Gotta build more mobile artillery battalions so we can upgrade them to shrapnel as soon as we get the tech in 6 months. Oh, this guy's an expert offensive planner, so we're gonna be able to get some good battles with him. He's also open terrain commander, so if he gets a flat terrain battle, it's gonna be plus 45% offense and 10% morale damage and minus 15 morale loss. This is goated general here. He's 70 years old, so hopefully he doesn't die. But if he doesn't, he will be very useful. I just realized our deficit it's not very good, but it will be fine. It will be fine. It won't be fine, but we can just imagine it'll be fine. It's minus 100K. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We can run this for like what, 4 years or something. It'll be fine. The Austrians are in 24 million debt, so we'll probably go default similar time to us. Um, but we should just be able to win once we get shrapnel, I think. Okay, breach loading is gonna happen like next week. When we get breach loading, I guess to go like central archives next. I don't really know. Shift work after that. Something like that should be decent. And I'll start leveling these guys up to shrapnel. Wait, what? Um, I, oh, I didn't actually research it. Oops. I think I probably thought I did, but I didn't actually. Central archive and like steel frame or something. Apparently we're getting attacked a bunch, but I'm gonna start upgrading shrapnel artillery now. And we should, yeah, we're winning these defensive battles easily, I think. And once the shrapnel upgrades fully, which I think it might have actually. Let's see. No, we got 18 guys. They're still unupgraded. So start upgrading these guys again. Um, oh, okay, we got 35 advantage or whatever. I'm gonna set these guys to push, and we should be good. I don't know why the Austrians are just keeping 80 guys in their capital, but I'm fine with it. Yeah, we're getting good battles here. Very much what I want to see. The expert offensive planner should let us get some pretty easy battles, I'd think. I wonder how good artillery commander is. It's only 5%. It's basically just offensive planner, but worse. Uh, okay, well, we're just gonna keep pushing, and we should be to keep winning, and eventually cap out the Egyptians, and just do good, I think. No! That's crazy bad. Guy died. No, that's so sad. He actually died mid-war. That's actually crazy bad. Hmm. Okay, discard give negative penalties? No, it doesn't, so we're probably gonna have to use this guy as our best general then. We're gonna wait for org now, though. Well, I thought plus 25 was the maximum capitulation that could get, but it's actually already at plus 26, so does that mean they're only halfway through their debt? Wow. Well, that would not be ideal if that's the case. Org is slowly going up, but also our advantage is slowly going down, which is not ideal. I think I'm just going to go for an attack. We're only getting, what, a minus 6% penalty. We'll see how it goes. Okay, yeah, it's going pretty well. I just hope we can win this war. Things really are not going too much in our favor right now. For some reason, all the battles are starting in Montenegro, which is not ideal, but I guess it's a place the battles can start. I'd prefer Egypt and Roman Republic should be getting out of the war soon, and that should be a big help. Roman Republic's got like 1,500 power projection. Egypt's got 2,500. Although obviously, not all that is actually on this front. Egypt's got like a little bit of their troops, but Roman Republic actually has like almost everything, so that would be pretty huge for them to cap out. Well, Montenegro is now occupied, so oh, and Roman Republic's out of the war. That's good. Next battle in Dalmatia. Should have slowly go up. This is the worst possible way to do the battles. I wish they would just go for the capital, but okay. Apparently, Mascara is a subject of Austria, so France has declared war on Mascara, and that is called in Austria, which is gonna be good, I guess. That'll maybe be a distraction for some Austrian troops. Looks like none have moved over there yet, except for, yeah, that's just Mascaran troops. So basically nothing, but, we're gonna be slowly pushing through Austria successfully so far, seemingly. Looks like this 95 stack is just kind of chilling here, which, I mean, convenient for us, I guess. I think I've got enough troops that I can handle, like, 3 offensive battles at once, so... Um... We'll do, like, these 3 guys, I guess, and we should be good. We've got plenty of shrapnel. We can just try to weaken them with more battles at once, try to lower their manpower that way, and also finish the war faster, because, budget is not good in the slightest. I need to be out of this war very soon, or else I'm going to die of budget problems. Well, we've got like a 70 advantage now, so I'm going to set more generals to push. I'm going to get a whole second army just for more generals to push with, because we need to push faster into Austria before they can regroup and before I can go bankrupt. Well, the 95 stack is coming to the front now. Not ideal, but looks like our advantage is still actually solid. Yeah, we're still winning with the 95 stack on the front, which is good. Got about 1 year left of money. 25K interest is not ideal, but it's definitely recoverable. It's not catastrophically bad. It's just really bad. What is France doing here? Oh, France landed in Kustenland. Okay, that's interesting. That's taking off a bunch of Austrians from the front, I guess. It might actually mean that they occupy the capital, though, which would be not ideal for sure if they occupy the capital instead of us. Please no, please no, please no. If the French get the capital instead, bruh, no, you're kidding me. You're actually kidding me that the French got the capital instead of me, bruh. Yeah, the French getting that capital instead of us is uh very frustrating, but it's fine. The problem is, well, actually, we wouldn't have been able to enforce anyway because we need France to enforce out these guys, or else we can't actually get banned slavery. Because it turns out Miskar is a Austrian subject. So, the plan is we're gonna wait for Austria to get capped out by France, which should happen soon enough. Yeah, it's gonna happen in a couple of weeks. We need to get to the capital immediately, basically, or else we're actually starting to cap, and that's the problem here. We need to get to the French, or we need to get to the Austrian capital, or we need West Slovakia and Northern Transylvania, like, immediately. So, hopefully one of those things will happen. That's why, oh wait, we need to mobilize you. Go on the front, we need as many generals attacking as possible, so that we can have the highest chances possible of doing this. Because, like, at minus 50 war support or something is when we start losing the war. So, we really just do not have much chances here. Um, what's their capping speed? Minus 13.7, so like, yeah, we're getting very close to where they're not going to be willing to accept a peace deal. Um, uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Please, please, please. Take the capital. Come on, that's the capital battle. Please, 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 please. Yes, we're in. Uh, are they willing to accept peace? No, they do not think we're winning the war yet. One stack goes down here. Oh, what? Why is the big stack? Okay, whatever. It's fine. We're gonna cap it like the same tick or something. This is stupid. Okay, yeah, we're actually capping at like the same tick, I think, which is gonna be interesting. I hope that that means we're gonna win. We'll see. Oh, no, we did cap one tick later than them, I think. Yes, we win the war. Okay, that was crazy close. We're almost defaulting. We should get more credit limit now. Yeah, we have more credit limit again. Are you kidding me? Are we actually losing money even when we're not at war? I guess our army is just too big. What? Actually just losing money still. And yeah, we're missing one state to form Yugo. This is so bad. Our money situation is not good. I need to definitely delete these barracks from the queue. Yeah, how do we start not losing infinite money again? Well, I think we can delete like most of this army probably. Um, yeah, something like this is maybe good. Now we're running a positive balance, barely. Uh, this is a little bit of a crazy position to be in, but I mean, we're kind of fine. Not exactly perfect, but we're making positive money. I've been deleting construction sectors because a huge point of government wages right now is actually just these construction sectors. Universities are surprisingly little. Government administration is quite a lot. Standardized filing system is probably worth it, right? It's gonna be what? How's the weekly balance on this? Only negative 17K. The weekly balance on filing cabinets is definitely not only negative 4,000. I'm paying 30,000 plus 10,000. What? This doesn't make any sense. Also, how in the world does this give increased employment? I have no clue, but I guess I'll turn it on. And apparently that's like not decreased our money situation like at all, which I guess is good. And then we can delete some government administrations now. Like how many do we need in Wallachia? It looks like we need most of these in Wallachia because Wallachia has permanent taxation capacity problems, but in the state like Northern Thrace, we can delete all these government administrations and stuff, saving us some money. We need to try to just cut back and oh, that not okay. We're running as much bureaucracy as we can now, pretty much. Delete some trade routes. We'll be running perfect bureaucracy. Okay, and yeah, this is certainly a situation. It's kind of fine. Yeah, this is okay. We're doing okay, I guess. I was gonna damage relations with Hungary, but I'm realizing they're a minor power, so I think I can just go for like a protectorate war on Hungary, and then it's 105 infamy. So no, we cannot go for protectorate war. That was a crazy plan. What am I thinking? It's 105 infamy unless I can get like multilateral alliances or something. That's not going to fly. I put on some more consumption taxes on services, and I removed the social mobility decrease because I figured we don't really need them. Literacy is already pretty solid. It'll probably start going down without the social mobility decrease, but I don't really care too much. Got decent tech already. Tech spreading tier 3 tech and stuff. We already have steel railway cars. That certainly is one of the tier 3 techs you can tech spread. The Hungarians are very nearly bankrupt, which is going to be very convenient for us trying to conquer this and this from them in order to form Yugoslavia soon enough. Bruh, I just exiled the industrialist and I got another protectionist. I was trying to get laissez-faire or something, but get double protectionist? That's crazy. I guess I'll start passing protectionism to try to appease the industrialists and stuff. Get some more IG approval on everyone. Who's this giving IG approval to? Yeah, PB, landowners, rural folk, industrialists, lots of people. Good old Serb uprising in Montenegro. Be nice if they can manage to fail this war so we can get that as new territory, but they have a navy still, so I don't think that they'll fail. We'll see. Oh, I should not have dropped a major power. That's not good for the budget. Because, yeah, interest. Interest payments are a lot if you're a major power. So we gotta become a GP again. Also, that's why I want to go laissez-faire to lower interest. And also, we're kind of a big enough GDP where it can make some sense. Although, oh yeah, they shouldn't have investment rights in us anymore because we're a great power, right? I think. I believe so. Well, I just unlocked steel frame buildings, so I'm gonna try to swap that up. Looks like we have like plenty of steel and stuff, so we can kind of just like swap up quite a bit to steel frame buildings here, and that should go pretty well. Yeah, that seems to be going fine. If I had a money, then we could use our construction, but unfortunately I don't really have money. I should definitely like downsize and swap everything up to steel frame, I think. That would be pretty good. Yeah, looks like our probably balance goes up because we don't have to pay as much for gov wages anymore. I'm just trying to get out of this interest. It's kind of bad. Although it's only 5% interest rate, so it's not like terrible, but definitely would like to stop paying it. Oh, the secession actually won. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, well, annex Serbia. Nice. Now Montenegro is completely surrounded by Serb Montenegro. Well, actually, and Bosnia. I think that if I get the landowners out of government, they might get marginalized. Or wait. Is this abdication thing just impossible? Because the leader's interest group can just never get marginalized? That's that's certainly a game mechanic. That's crazy. So you just like can't abdicate with that method, I guess. Well, that's unfortunate. I think this is the highest GDP I've ever seen the Dutch East Indies have when not controlled by me. What in the world? 22 million GDP Dutch East Indies is crazy. What, Western Australia has 4.5 million GDP? What is this nonsense world we're living in? Wow, the Hungarians have actually managed to pay down their debt. Only 10.8 million? Crazy. But their army is fairly weak, so we should be able to defeat them unless the Austrians or whatever are going to protect them or anything. But I doubt they will. Ottomans have Togur as a subject, and France is trying to invade it. Okay, let's not lose our Ottoman subject over this, and let's just give into this play. Well, I kind of want to invade Hungary, but it says the Ottomans are kind of likely to intervene, which, I mean, that's not ideal. The Ottomans have not enough power protection to stop us, I think, so we're just going to go for it, and I'm pretty sure the Ottomans will get defeated. I might go for reduced autonomy on them? I don't know. I want to go for Banat, and I want to go for Central Hungary, but they might actually back down if I do that. I'm gonna go for war apps, and if Ottomans join, they shouldn't back down, I think. We'll see. We're gonna mobilize conscripts and stuff. If they're plus 80k balance, we should be fine to do this war without going into the negatives, I think. We'll see. You know, I like how close Russia is to being swayed into the war, but it'll be fine. If the Turks join, that should make them less likely to join. I think the Turks just aren't joining for some reason, though. Which is a little bit strange, but, I mean, it's fine, I guess. Okay, looks like the Turks have declared neutrality, and they sided with Circassia against Russia. That should make Russia less likely to join, I guess. I'm going to, not that. I'm gonna go for Liberate Transylvania, and then conquer Central Hungary. I'm pretty sure liberating Transylvania should make them not want to back down here. And I think they have maintained balance of power, which I think makes them less likely to back down as well. So surely they won't back down. We can get Central Hungary, which is a amazing state. It's got um, coal, iron, and logging, and it's got a Mappy River. It's also got agriculture throughput. It's a real nice state, and of course this war will let us form Yugoslavia. Well, they didn't back down, and yeah, this should be a pretty easy war, because the Hungarians have like no army. Really having conscripts for this war is kind of unnecessary, but it'll make us win it much faster, I think. It's probably good. I'm just gonna mobilize all my armies to the front to try to get more battles going faster, and hopefully you can enforce this war fairly quickly. Okay, peace with Hungary achieved. A little bit border gore, but like, gotta get that central Hungary. And we can now form Yugoslavia. Gives me claims on Montenegro and Slovenia, which is very nice. And yeah, that's real good. I do want to get at least Montenegro before I end off the run, because this just looks so terrible right now. Gotta get Montenegro, but getting Montenegro is going to be very tricky because it's in the Russian bloc, so we can't invade it. So we either need to take over the bloc, or we need to get a war that Russia will side against us in, and then we need to leave power block as a war goal there. For example, Russia has a alliance or a defensive pact with Kiva. Are they in the block? Kiva is in the block. Is there anyone? Greece? No, all these people are in the block. No, this is tricky. Guarantee independence. Bukhara, for example, is not in the block, so we can maybe do them, but they're in Central Asia. Oh, wait, what? How in the... Oh, right. Ottomans are how we have a native interest there. Oh, we're not going to have a native interest there for very long. But we could declare on, like, Bukhara here or something, and then use that to fight Russia, maybe, for leave power block, plus maybe humiliation so that we can attack Montenegro without them joining against us or something. Yeah, I guess I'm going to declare a rivalry with Russia. I'll see if that makes our leverage actually trending bad. Looks like that does not do much of anything. Yeah, that's not ideal, but not much we can do about it, because I think actually having leverage resistance here is a bit of a problem. We could maybe expel diplomats. Yeah, Russia losing, or Ottomans losing cars is going to be a problem, because that's going to remove our native interest in the Caucasus, so we aren't going to be able to fight Bukhara or whatever. About are other people they guaranteeing good? No, it's just Bukhara. I'm gonna start moving up to proportional taxation with our labor movement. We're gonna lose cars. I don't think we're ready to fight Russia right now. We like are in debt and stuff, so we just like can't fight Russia right now, I think. But I mean, we're getting kind of close. Our GDP is like 80% of theirs, so that's close. Our population is of course way lower though, so that's not great. But also like we'll lose their market access, I guess, which might be a problem. I'm not sure. Ottoman should be capping out soon, I think. Transfer Tunis is the only thing. Yeah, they just need to take the capital for that. Apparently Austria is bankrupt. Only 5 infamy. Oh, Russia wants to support them? Well, maybe this is gonna be our war, but like, we just so aren't ready, right? I don't think we're ready. We need like a bigger army set up and stuff, I think. Russia's got 10,000 power projection. I mean, we can like conscript a lot if we put all of our decrees on conscription, but it's like, it's gonna be tough to beat Russia, I think. I also would kind of like to have enough infamy to conquer Bessarabia and Dobruja in the war or something. I don't know. I don't even know if we're gonna conquer Moldavia, so maybe actually... No, the border's like... the Transylvania we probably won't conquer, so... A little bit complicated here. Probably just need to take Russian Dobruja, and that's probably like it for what we want to conquer. So we have enough infamy for that, I think. But yeah, I don't think we can beat Russia. Proportional taxation pass, nice. Plus 120k balance is pretty solid. We can almost afford to use this much construction, I think. We're just gonna try to get out of interest. Can we exile our guy yet? Yes, we can. Odds of becoming a protectionist are 7%. Will we get a protectionist for the 3rd time in a row? No. Okay, let's go. Get the industrialists in government and start trying to pass laissez-faire. Dang, we have like a 10% trade unions. They're really giving us some problems here with passing LF along with the labor movement and stuff. It's a bit of a problem. industrialists were really strong for a while, but I guess they've gone down quite a bit in clout, and that's a bit of a problem for us. Hmm. I just realized we have closed borders. Are we getting any migrants from the Ottomans or anything? I think no. Yeah, I don't think we are. That's a big mistake. Okay, that's actually an insane mistake that I didn't realize this for this long. I should have gone migration controls or no migration controls. No, I'm throwing. It's pretty rare you get this event. I feel like we shouldn't be getting this. I felt like you need national supremacy or something for this, and we have cultural exclusion, but okay. I guess I'll take 5% Serbian loyalists. That should be a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit of loyalists. I don't know if the clergymen ones might be better. It's 60% of the clergymen. This is 5% of the Serbians. It was roughly the same number of pops, I think. I'm finally out of debt. I'm built with this 290 construction. Pretty solid. I do want to fight Russia soon, I think. But I just want to get a little bit of steel and stuff to make sure we're ready. Looks like we are actually producing most of the steel for the block, so we might be good. I do wonder if we're consuming, or if we're producing most of the arms and stuff, though. Looks like we're not, so we might want to build some arms industries. That might be good for some safety, especially actually munitions plants. Those are the thing that we usually run out of. Do we? Yeah, we have the tech for that. Okay. I will probably build some munition plants because these are usually very important for being able to not run shortages during the war. I think the plan is to attack Austria for Ukraine. I just, kind of want to have some gold reserves saved up. We've got like 1 million, which is pretty good. I just want to build up a little bit more. I think we're in a good situation here. Russians have got 7,500 power projection. They're in 9 million debt, so I think it'll be good. Okay, I'm gonna declare the play. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna remove like every decree except for the enlistment efforts, which we don't actually have any of, but we're gonna create them now. Wallachia, Northern Serbia, Central Hungary, Bulgaria. I don't know which of our states have the most pops. No, not Bulgaria. Southern Serbia is gonna be better. Okay, I think these are probably decent, although state incorporated, so that might not be good. Okay, maxing out. Guys there. Maybe do a little bit less there. Get this to be where it's not too many. Okay. And then I'm gonna get a full skirmish conscript army over here, which will try to defend this front over here in the east where we have the Russians. Hopefully this will be enough troops. I don't know. They probably don't have shrapnel, so with how low combat width this front is probably gonna be, it might be fine. We'll see. Plan is kind of just to steamroll through the Austrians. We could actually go for an Austria protectorate here, but we do not have the infamy for that right now. Yeah, Russia should hopefully side against us. And then we'll just be in a pretty solid position here, I think. It is assuming Russia can side against us. I have no clue why they wouldn't be allowed to side against us here, but are in the Montenegro war. That would be really weird. I have no clue. This game is very confusing. Maybe the Russian AI is playing 5D chess, or maybe they just aren't allowed to join against us. I have no clue. The screen showed that they were allowed to join against us, but they just aren't joining against us. I'm confused. What? Well, I guess we'll just be taking Crane from the Austrians then. Should be a pretty easy war because the Austrians are bankrupt. They got what, like yeah, 50% offense defense penalty from that, which is pretty much unrecoverable from that. You get 36 defense on these troops. Actually, that's pretty solid. They've stacked up quite a few modifiers, but even with that, they just got like the base number. So it's gonna be tough for them. Oh, Russia just kicked us out of the block. Well, that's good. But also, we have no grain. So time to import grain from everyone on the planet. And our budget is bad, but that's also because we're in a war. Okay, well, that's good. It's just a little bit of a shock, but as our economy adjusts, it'll be fine. The grain shortage, our agriculture pops are starving right now. Actually, only 22% is crazy when considering running a plus 75% price grain right now. But yeah, the price should be going down slowly, and that should mean that the starvation of our pops is going to be going away. That is A little bit scary for a second there, but we're out of the Russian bloc, which, I mean, that's what you wanted to do. So that's good, I guess. Form a sovereign empire. Um, it doesn't matter. I don't have a good name idea. Okay, we're good. We enforce on the Austrians soon. Peace with the Austrians. We get Crane. It's instantly incorporated because we had a claim and a homeland. And, well, now that the Russians have kicked us out, we can go for Montenegro. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Got this. I go for a humiliation on the Russians. Gonna put basically all my troops on the Russia front and get a, or we'll actually maybe go with this army on the Montenegro front, and then it'll move over quickly after we basically instantly occupy Montenegro, unless they actually literally have 0 troops. In that case, I guess we'll go everything on this front, and then a 1 stack takes out Montenegro. Oops, that was a terrible cough, but yeah, that recording was too long for me to cut that out, unfortunately. Unless I were to remember to cut that out in the recording, which if I did, then you don't know what I'm talking about or something, so that would be unfortunate, but I'm sure you do know what I'm talking about, so it'll be fine, because I probably would have cut this out too. Except I can't, because there's war goals going on right now, so I wouldn't have done that. But, conquer Russian Dobruja, I think that's gonna be good. Looks like the Russians have shipped some troops over there, so I'm gonna send my army over there, and we're just gonna go for the speed run on taking that out. None of these armies are particularly good at attacking, unfortunately, but it'll be fine. Yeah, the advantage here isn't ideal, but it should be good enough. I'm gonna defend here and try to go for a naval invasion on Russian Dobruja. Yeah, we can't sway anyone in or anything. This will be good. The pass on laissez-faire is not going well. Unfortunately, failed the laissez-faire pass. Not ideal, but it's also not the worst thing ever. I would like to go for naval invasion, but actually, we cannot do that. It's crazy they have so much of their army over here in Montenegro. Wow. I did not expect them to put this much of their army on Montenegro. Especially because I can actually cap out after Montenegro is dead, so this is kind of bad strategy by the AI here. Oh, we're failing to get into Montenegro. Oh, but Russia didn't actually get them as a subject, so we can't actually just, like, try to land Russian Dobruja, and then from there enforce on Russia. Well, actually, we can even push on this front, because it's, like, a solid advantage. But we might as well go for the landing, too, I guess. Except that we're already in a battle. Except it's fine. Just get an admiral and go for the naval invasion. What? Oh, we're engaged in battle. Okay, too bad. Okay, yeah, we've occupied Bessarabia and stuff over there. We're actually losing over here. Uh-oh. That's not good. But also, like, the Russians are gonna cap out and then we win. So, yeah, I don't think Russia's gonna make it to Slovenia before we make it to them capping out of the war. Got some front spaghetti over here, which is not ideal. Yeah, this is annoying. Can use this 5 stack, I guess, to try to guard this front, because those troops don't actually have much manpower, and that might help us out. The Russians are also just capping out, so it's not a huge deal. This front is going to make it to Slovenia somewhat soon, but the Russians are already at -20 war support, so unless they hit total occupation, we should be fine. Yeah, I think this war's just going to be a capitulation race that I'm pretty sure we win. Oh, their troops are leaving the front, which is... I don't think that's very smart, because now... I mean, unless they can get all the way back to Russian Dobruja before they cap out, which I don't think they will, they're just gonna nullify their chances of winning the war, basically. Well, the war isn't exactly going in our favor, but it doesn't matter, because the Russians are gonna cap out in just a second here. I think next tick they should cap out. Yeah. Nope, not barely not. Okay, well, next tick... No, no shot, no shot, no shot. Yes, okay. Barely win that, okay. And now, just go for the final little bit on Montenegro and win the war. The bit of a tough war, but also is kind of easy. I don't know. Medium difficulty, I guess. Yeah, and now we have Russia humiliated, so if we wanted to do anything else, we could. But I don't think there's anything else we want to do. I mean, we could go for Moldavia, but that doesn't really make the front spaghetti, or not front spaghetti, the spaghetti look any better. Kinda hate that we took Central Hungary because it makes the borders look kind of terrible. Well, Montenegro, your days are numbered. Yep, there we go. Yugoslavia. Oh, we kind of need. You gotta take Bulgaria, bro. That looks terrible. Yeah, I gotta take Bulgaria. I can't be accepting this terrible front. Looks like we can't call the Ottomans in, unfortunately. Guess they don't have any interest in the Balkans. Okay, apparently they backed down. Well, I don't actually see the back down text, but I don't see any other way they could have that war could have ended like that, except for them backing down. Well, I'm gonna end off the run here. Did pretty solid. 45 million GDP by 1891, I think is fairly solid for our challenge rules. I think you can probably do significantly better if you conquered like some overseas land in China or whatever, but for conquering only in like neighboring states and also not being able to like sway or anything, I think that this is a pretty solid result. We got all the Yugoslav states. Conquering Central Hungary maybe wasn't such a great idea. This is what our GDP graph looks like. I'm not really sure what caused this little like fall off here at the end. We were in like a war for a lot of this, but I don't feel like our GDP should have fallen that much. I don't know. This is our SOL graph. You can see it just mostly just goes up whenever we get healthcare, and then it's mostly flat other than that. Pop, of course, going up over time. If I had remembered to not be on closed borders, then we probably could have gotten a lot more pops, but I kind of didn't really realize that we were on closed borders, and or maybe I did realize it at some point, but I just didn't think about that stopping us from getting Russian migrants. I really should have thought about that, but I didn't. Is there anything else I want to talk about? I don't think so. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. Goodbye.